Got our official sponsor, Greenwood Stock Trading. If you want to learn how to make some passive income, some extra money, so you can invest in your future and your kids' future, give them a call for a free 10-minute consultation, 281-760-3170. Go get to the bag. All right, man, let's talk about playing Benavidez. I didn't realize it was fight week until somebody told me yesterday live. It was fight week. Heard about the fight in the newlywed news, heard about what Ryan Garcia said. I'll address that hopefully tomorrow. I will attempt to address that. So check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Check out the Boxing 101 playlist for more videos like this. Listen to this on the podcast. You can find it on Spotify, Apple, Anchor, Google Podcasts. It's a number of them. So hopefully you guys check it out. You can find it by hitting the link tree. It's the first link in the description. Take you everywhere from Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Spotify, Instagram, the whole nine. So yeah. My Carlton White voice. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah. So they are fighting. It's kind of. I was just watching the interview that Caleb Plant had just did with the Pivot podcast. I just had started watching it. It looked like it got pretty interesting. Like it got pretty good too, bro. So, you want to root for a guy like that. Now, if I had to just say who I liked and who I disliked out of the bunch, I don't dislike neither one of them. Like both of them. Like how bold and brash the Benavidez. I like how bold and brash Benavidez and his pops and his family is. Like how humble Caleb Plant is. If I had to just say in the vacuum, who would I root for? I'm just a fan. I'm sitting right on the fence here. I ain't got no issue with Plant. I ain't got no issue with Benavidez. Historically, you'd be like, well, who would you like style would I favor? I'm a fan of all of it. I'm a fan of the guys who can brawl. They're an anomaly now. But people hate the guys that are pressure fighters. They hate the brawlers. Mayweather then made it seem like that's the superior style, and it ain't. It ain't the superior style. Hate to break it to people, but it ain't the superior style in boxing at all. I like what Caleb Plant do, sweet science and all that. But if I had to put a pistol to my head and be like, man, what style you like, I'm gonna go with Benavidez because I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna roll with Benavidez style because it's abnormal now. Used to have a bunch of those type of guys like Hagler. Hagler Duran could do it all, but you have a bunch of those type of guys walking around. Whole bunch of Julio Cesar Chavez, guys that's in the top 15. You used to have to fight them dudes. It was kind of like a rite of passage. You don't have those guys around no more. So a lot of these dudes, they don't appreciate, what guys like Tim Tszyu or Better Biev bring, what they bring to the table. They don't appreciate it no more. So I'll probably just go with that because everybody trying to hit and don't get hit. Kid Bud salute. But the remedy to that shit is a pressure fighter. And you got to really know how to work them angles the right way when you fighting guys like that. But I ain't got an issue with none of them. I like them both. Yeah, I like them both. I think it's a great fight for the fans to see. The tickets ain't moving how they want to move, but I didn't know that NCAA tournament was in Vegas the same. Like, so you got to understand what you competing with Vegas with. You competing with you got a whole bunch of women, you got a whole bunch of prostitutes around in Vegas. Um, you know what I'm saying? You got gambling, you got magic shows, you got you got everything. You got clubbing, you got partying. I mean, whatever you looking for. Private parties. So you gotta understand you competing with a lot in Vegas, bro. College campus, you know what I'm saying? And if you bold enough, you can go to the hood in Vegas and find something that you're looking for. It's a lot of things to do out there in Vegas, bro. So people are like, yo, I don't gamble, so I don't have nothing else to do. I mean, as a man, bro, anytime you put a whole bunch of women in one spot from different areas, you supposed to be excited, bro. You supposed to be fucking excited about that shit. You know? Um, but that's what they competing against. That was Al Heyman. That's the date they found available. You competing with the NCAA tournament. I don't know who playing, but it's a Sweet 16, Elite Eight. Um, and that's kind of gonna be the normal in Vegas going forward too, where you're gonna be competing with basketball pretty soon, baseball, football. Obviously the Golden Knights are really good too. Hockey, you're gonna be competing with all of that shit. In Vegas, the biggest threat to Vegas, the biggest place the two things that should be very threatened by Vegas, and Texas would be happy about this because a lot of people from from California in general is moving to Texas because of the price of living and how strict their laws is. The real place that's really happy about that, that's really like gonna take some pressure off Texas is Las Vegas. Las Vegas is a real threat to be the new Los Angeles, but they don't have strict gun laws. So Vegas is a real threat to really knock LA off. And I know LA got great weather and all that. When you talking about you can protect yourself with your firearm, you know what I'm saying? The weed is pretty much you right there by LA. Sharing the same weed. They got just Vegas. It's gambling. It's casinos. It's they got sports teams now. So LA is LA should be very worried about what Las Vegas bringing to the table. After a while, Vegas is gonna be the spot. That's the aim. I knew you are injured. I heard, bro. He said probably realized. No, I don't think so. I heard he hurt his hand. Foden said it's still on. He said appreciate the advice on not getting a haircut too often. You say hairline, save your hairline. Oh yeah, no problem, bro. Sometimes if you live somewhere that's hot, you ain't got no other choice. But like when it's dark, when it's winter time, yeah, I just let it. At some point, you got to let it reset, bro. At some point, you got to let it all. Y'all be cut. Y'all didn't even, but motherfuckers be cutting it, and they push your line. Anytime they line your hair up, they push it back. So if you continue to again get lined up, you're not letting it, grow, and that's all over your head, bro. You gotta let all that grow, and the younger the better. You taking your biotin and what you putting in your hair matter too. Keeping it moisturized, keeping it brushed. I mean, all this shit is connected. Your health, your gut health, your gut, all that shit is connected to that, man. All that's connected. Your heart health, your gut health, your hair, all that. All that's connected. Vitamins, you got to make sure you get the sunlight in your hair. I always got to remind myself because in the wintertime I like to wear hats and shit. But you got to let the sun in and all that shit, man. But yeah, we got a barn burner Saturday, and it might not be the biggest event because Ryan and Tank is a couple weeks after it. The NCAA tournament in town, but you got a barn burner. Not only do you got, boxer, boxer puncher versus, aggressive fighter. That makes some of the best fights. Real talk. That makes some of the best fights in history when you start talking about guys like Chavez and Mayweather, you know what I'm saying? Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard. The big ring. I forget to keep talking about the big ring. I mean, Benavidez hasn't been on this level. He hasn't been tested. I think a lot of people think it's a foregone conclusion that Benavidez is just gonna run through Caleb Plant, but Caleb Plant been tested. You know, Caleb Plant. I always kind of put some stock into guys being, fighting guys, fighting on this level. You know, Caleb Plant has been tested, bro, and his upbringing is was tough. So, Benavidez kind of want to wear his emotions on his sleeve. He trying to get, Caleb Plant to stand and fight him. That's what it's about. That's why he trying to say, you bitch, you a pussy, you all this. He want him to stand and fight. But, you hear a lot of people talking about, well, Caleb should clinch on the inside, or, Caleb should, his best opportunity is this, that, and the third. Man, the best thing Caleb Plant can do, bro, is establish that lead hand and get to that body. That's how you do it. You get to that body, bro. Anytime you got somebody that's willing to take shit on the chops, that's willing to hang their chin out there, the best way to knock them out is just start chipping away at the body. That's the best thing to do. And ripping the body. And watch, if he ripped the body, you know what I'm saying? The head will fall. That's what he should do. I wouldn't even worry about scoring up top. I wouldn't even worry about if I'm Caleb Plant trying to win a decision. My thing is I'm going to break him down to the body. I'm gonna use my angles. I'm gonna go in and out, and I'm gonna stand my ground sometimes. I'm gonna stand in there with him. And people say, "Oh, you crazy to stand in there with him." Bro, they call the man sweet hands for a reason. And they should be working on when Benavidez throw them combinations. When Benavidez throw, they should be working on making them pay. It's so many things they can take advantage of in this fight, bro. So many times. He don't bring his hands back home. He'll give you the body, He'll give you the body. He big. He kind of waddle around the ring. He do got good feet, though. But I would establish that jab. I'd establish just stab jab to the body. You know what I'm saying? And I'll walk right in there and punch him in his fucking mouth. I'll punch him right in his fucking mouth. That's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to punch him right in his fucking schnauzer. I'm going to come out. I'm going to run right to him. And I'm going to throw some wild shit at his ass. But it's going to be calculated. And I'm going to go in there and set the tone. And even if, he aimed for the elbow, or he aimed for the shoulder, or the tri or the bicep, whatever you aim for, the solar plex, you just want him to know that, this is what this shit about to feel like. And like I said before, what he did versus Anthony Durrell, and people said, well, it was only Anthony Durrell, but nobody did Anthony Durrell like that. I hate when people do move the needle, like with Tony Harrison. It's like, oh man, Tony Harrison wasn't the same. Tony Harrison was knocked out 2 times before he fought Jamel Charlo. I hate how they try to just discredit certain fighters. You know what I'm saying? They did it with Better BF. Oh, the nail is gonna nail him, and then it's like, oh, he wasn't that good. He retired the motherfucker. He legitimately retired that man. You know what I mean? So I love how boxing fans have got comfortable and moving the needle the way they move the needle. They're moving the needle. And that's why these dudes don't be wanting to take the risk, because once they take the risk, they don't get the credit. Oh, he wasn't that good. He was weight drained, or he was this, that, and the third. But if Caleb Plant was smart, it's going to start with a good left jab. It's going to start with some good body work. And it's going to start with him getting his respect early. He got to get his. He got to show him if he going to go in the deep end, or he going to turn the water all the way to hot, that shit burn. If he don't go in there and establish respect early on, bro, he ain't going to have no respect for him. You know what I'm saying? And David Benavidez, it's about good pressure fighters. If you notice, they really don't gas. They like great running backs. You know what I'm saying? They like the Emmitt Smiths of the world. You know what I'm saying? What's my man's down there with the Houston Oilers? It's escaping my name, man. Earl. What's the running back down there in Houston Oilers running back, bro? Violent motherfucker, man. I think he went to Texas too, man. What's my man's name? Hold on. What's his name? Violent motherfucker. Earl Campbell. As you know, the more you hit Earl Campbell, just the stronger he got. That's some great pressure fighters. Usually you see those dudes, man, and the more you give it to them, You got to think about they wearing out 22, 25 men. Because, defense, they could rotate in. They could spell a running back, but, you know what I'm saying? He wearing out, two units of defense. And that's pressure fighters, bro. Because, it take a minute for them to kind of get started, too. You know what I'm saying? But once they get into the rhythm, that's why, you look at Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman, what he like to deal with his opponents, he like to go up there and he like to, win as many rounds as possible. Keith Thurman want to win the first 5-6 rounds, steal 1 or 2 in the back end, and take a 7-5. If he can drop you and take an 8-4 win. He did to Danny Garcia and just cruise on the back end. That's how they treated it, and that's kind of how, a lot of people like to fight those great pressure fighters. You know what I'm saying? They try to steal as many points, as many points as they can early on. And when they start to come on hot later on, they just like to kind of just try to win a round or two late and be like, well, I won. Look at Chavez and Mildred Taylor. A lot of people are mad at Richard Steele for taking that fight away from, Mildred Taylor. But Chavez was coming on hot. It take them a minute to kind of get that motor going, But the way you fight guys like Benavidez, I'm telling you, dude, like people can't tell you this who don't know boxing. The way you fight them guys is just like Pernell Whitaker fought Chavez, bro. You don't move. Especially early on. Don't move from them. That's what they want. Because when they cut in the ring, they take their time. So they're not wasting no energy. You doing all that moving, fainting, and twitching and all that shit. You wasted energy. You ever play Fight Night? Every time you move, your energy bar go down. Just think about it. After a while, you get tired. Every time you put your guard up, your energy bar go down. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you do something, your energy after a while just start going down, And with great pressure fighters, a lot of these dudes just run themselves in the corner. They knock themselves out. They running, they sliding on the ropes, they sliding, they doing all this antsy punching and shit. And then at least if you're gonna slide on the ropes, you're gonna run like that, guess what? At least touch the body. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for your average boxer to get respect on the ropes. With his back on Jermell Charlo is one of the few fighters today who can generate power in short areas from off the ropes. He can hurt you or knock you out from his back to the ropes. You know what I'm saying? Deontay Wilder is on that short list of guys, that can do that. Caleb Plant, he ain't that type of guy. Truly special ones generate power like that. So if you move it, it's just gonna let Benavidez just take his time, even in the bigger ring, take his time. And what he gonna do is, after a while, he gonna warm up. His jab he's gonna control Caleb Plant body. And when Caleb Plant get on the ropes, if Canelo can walk him down, so can Benavidez. If Caleb Plant get on the ropes, he gonna start doing that 20-piece combination, and he gonna get stopped. He probably gonna get cut and get stopped. So all that moving, bro, is just how Pernell Whitaker fought Duran is the recipe. It's how you fight them. Then once you establish that respect, then if you want to, then you can start boxing and moving, sticking and moving. And once you got them off balance, Andre Ward, like he fought Kovalev. He had to take a chance to go on the inside. He had to taste Kovalev power. It was a great shot. They most guys would have stayed down. He had to take that risk. But once he took the risk, once he ate the shot, it was a wrap. Once he was able to get on the inside of Kovalev, it wasn't shit Kovalev can do no more. That fight turned. You think, well, Kovalev scored a knockdown. He walked right into a right hand. But the fight turned. Andre Ward said, that's all you got. He said, okay, I ain't gonna get hit with that shot no more. And he started working Kovalev ass out. You gotta take the chance. Now, are there examples of that going bad? Absolutely. Sugar Ray Robinson sitting in the pocket. Sugar Ray Leonard sitting in the Lions den with Roberto Duran. And everybody said Roberto Duran was a 35-pounder. Roberto Duran had fucking fought at welterweight already. Junior welterweight for sure. So you got to remember that too. That's one of the biggest misconceptions about boxing is that Roberto Duran was he jumped all the way up from 40 from 35 to 47. No. And that one of the other misconceptions about boxing, and Philly people tell you this all the time. One of the other big misconceptions about boxing is that Mildred Taylor lost to Chavez and never did shit else in his career. That was no. He went on and won. He was a welterweight champion after that. He just took another risk in his career and he lost to Terry Norris at 54. He took another risk. So just something to think about. He took another risk. So once you start, looking at them saying, but yeah, he fought as technically super welterweight before he fought Ray Leonard. He fought Wellington Wheaton at 147.5. He had several fights above or at the welterweight limit before he fought Sugar Ray Leonard. That's a big lie and a big misconception I want to dispel right there. But I'll say this over and over again. That's my favorite Sugar Ray Leonard fight. You can make a case that he won that fight, or it was closer than what they had it. They was in that motherfucker. Sugar Ray Leonard showed that he was a dog. Cause he was going blow for blow with Roberto Duran, bro. He held it. He strapped his nuts on it. What Roberto Duran did to him, calling his wife with a bitch and all that type of shit. That's why Benavidez trying to do to Caleb Plant. And Sugar Ray Leonard let it get into his head. But it was I think it's his best performance, bro, in my opinion, even in a loss. So I only get 5 haircuts a year. In another 5 years, I'm gonna start losing it. If you got dreads, because 5 haircuts a year, boy, you must got a fro or something. He said, I got this fight looking like J Rock and Jared Hurd with Clint. I mean, if you get on the inside, yeah. Benavidez, yeah, he get on the inside, he walk you down and throw shots. But just because you're a pressure fighter don't make you an inside fighter. Like Chavez was a great inside fighter. Duran was another great inside fighter. Marvin Hagler was great on the inside too. Benavidez kind of just walk you down and start throwing shots on the inside. You know what I'm saying? It's not too many great inside fighters who gonna hold your other arm, beat you up, work the ankles like Chavez. But it's great pressure for. It's like a few good pressure fighters out there. You see better BF. He does some things in there that but I don't think he is flamboyant on the inside of some of the great fighters of the past. But yeah, he does some things in there, bro. That he makes some great adjustments. But for Caleb Plant, he got to get respect, bro. He got to get respect. But if he can get on the inside and get Benavidez there, it's really gonna matter. It's really gonna actually matter if he able to break him down to the body. Even if he get on the inside, he still got to break him down to the body. That's just what it is. And I think when he started working the body, breaking him down to the body, then I think he started ripping the uppercuts in there like J Rock did, come back with the left hook. But yeah, maybe that's the plan. But I think the plan is similar to what he did versus Anthony Durrell. And that's just a lot of educated movement, in and out, stationary, generating power. He might fuck around and hurt Benavidez. I can see that. David Drago Planet Creed is too much. I don't know, man. You might be right. But the thing about it is we ain't never seen, Benavidez tested. That's the problem. We ain't seen Benavidez tested like this. That's the only question. This is a step up in class for him, bro. This is a step up in class. People say, well, Caleb Plant got 13 knockouts and off the one Durrell, but you gotta look at his style overall. He started planting when he started planting his feet and started moving so much, he getting power on his shots. He always has. Caleb Plant can punch, bro. He's not feather fisted. He just like to move too much. He don't know how to stay home, and that's what Bredman is working with him on being more stationary, where you can generate power and get respect and moving only when necessary. Educated movement. D-Ray Promotions, what's going on, bro? Shout out to Omaha. He said, I was at both the fights. Ward lost the first one out. Nah, I can't say that. Ward won that first fight, bro. After he got dropped, he got up and he started beating the shit out of Kovalev ass. Kovalev couldn't do shit with him when he got to that point. He came all the way from behind and he beat Kovalev. So, I mean, it looked different in the arena than it do on tape. They don't go to this fight, but they took too long to announce it. Don't get nobody time to book flights like it used to. The plan gonna do better than what people think. I definitely think he is. What I seen versus Anthony Durrell fight is exactly what he had been needed to do. And that's he just moved too much. He be moving even when he fought Caleb Truex. He was letting Caleb Truex, who had nothing left, he was just moving and moving and boxing and boxing. And as you get older, them legs get worse and worse. He said, I used to pick Plant. Big C say, I think Benavidez applies more pressure than Canelo. And yeah, that's what changed a lot of people's mind. When you got a guy that's 5'4", 5'6", walking down Caleb Plant, the first thing Caleb Plant did when the bell rung versus Canelo was he started moving. That's the first thing he did. He started moving right off rip. That's the first thing he did. He started moving. That's the first thing he did is start moving. That's the first thing he did was start moving. But I do think you got to get an edge corner wise to Stephen Bredman over Benavidez, Pops, and all that type stuff. Yeah, I think you got to get him the edge. But they ain't never been Benavidez's Pops ain't never been in this position before, bro. That's the only thing that kind of really concern you about this fight after you've seen what Canelo did and all that, and everybody picking him. And I tell you this. When he says Ward lost the first fight, no way, whatever. That's your opinion. I don't really care what you got to say. I said he won the first fight, so hey, that's your opinion. I ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? I said he won it. The judges said he won it. Who was right? What BoxRec say? That's the crazy thing about it. Well, there's no way he won that. What the judges say? He won. And you got to remember, HBO wasn't no pro Andre Ward network neither. Even though he worked on there, they was sneak dissing the nigga his whole career. He worked on there. He had to go fight at BET. Beat the shit out of Kovalev that second fight. First fight too. After he got dropped, he beat Kovalev. People say the same thing about Deontay Wilder and Fury because he dropped Fury 3 times. What the fuck that had to do with anything? Fury beat that nigga out every time he didn't drop him in that first fight. That wasn't no draw. Fury won that fight. And he validated in the second, and he put the fucking snap on in the third fight. People act like, oh, Andre Ward was in Oakland or whatever like that, man. Andre Ward didn't have no backing over there. He beat Kovalev, and Kovalev got to live with that. And Kovalev got stopped in the second fight. How about that? He stopped him in the second fight. He stopped him in the second fight. So ain't no point in talking about it. He beat his ass down the stretch. Kovalev faded. He picked it up. These son of judges, and he did all this bitching and complaining, right? And got stopped the second fight. Then it was, he low blowed me. Nah, man. And look at where Kovalev's career went after that. Look where Kovalev's career went after that. Motherfucker fighting on Triller. Open it up for the locks. Open it up for the lock. Oh, he nailed Kovalev in his nuts. So what, nigga? Shit, get some nuts of steel then. Get some balls of steel. Y'all do know how that cut protector work. Most of y'all ain't never put one of them bitches on. He had the budgets saying you won doesn't mean you. Yes, it do. Yes, it do. The fuck you think it mean? It mean you won the fucking fight. That's what BoxRec say. You want me to go check BoxRec for you real quick? Let's go check BoxRec. What's so funny? Oh, the judges say, well, just because the judges say it doesn't mean what? No. Last time I looked, this motherfucker say 0. Look at this. Last time I looked, he won. He won by a point, but he won on all 3 cards. All 3 was in agreement. Then he stopped that motherfucker. He stopped him. I don't know what Steve Weisfeld was watching. Beat the shit out of his ass again. Kovalev got to live with that. Kovalev got to live with that. He got to live with that. If Ward didn't do it, Benavidez was gonna kill his ass. He knew it. It's better that Andre Ward tapped that ass before Benavidez killed his ass. How about that? But nonetheless, I ain't here to bring up ancient history and a Russian that was just straight up a piece of shit as a human too. How about that? But yeah, when you start talking about what Plant need to do, Plant did show tremendous growth fighting Anthony Durrell, and he's starting to hold his ground. And when you hold your ground, you get better leverage on shots, no matter who you are. So it's gonna be, I don't know if he gonna go on the inside and mob Benavidez down, but I do think respect has to be earned. I think he got to earn respect, bro. He got to go out there and get and take a respect. But before I talk about Benavidez, Plant got a lot of advantages in this fight. Corner is an advantage. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you know, experience fighting Canelo in a big fight. They said we fought. They never been in a fight of this magnitude. I mean, resume. With Canelo being on his resume, they both fought Anthony Durrell. They both fought Porky Medina. You know, uh, you know. So you go talk about resume. He fought. So all that matter, man. Who you fought, it matters, bro. That Canelo fight might have been the best thing for him. Just because Canelo was able to do it, you never know. Caleb Plant might have had a stack of money in his Adidas gym bag from Canelo Alvarez. You just never know in this industry, bro. You just really never know. You never know. So, but but it's gonna be about him, holding his ground a lot. But with Benavidez, bro, is with Benavidez problem. And he could do some things. He can do some things that people don't know. He got good footwork. He can use some angles. He got good hand speed, and he uses jab. It's really good. So for him, it's just gonna be passing the test of experience. He just need experience. And will he? Will this be easy for him? It could be. It could be. But he needs he need this fight. And I think if he underestimated this dude, he working for a knockout, and he think that's all it's gonna be. Maybe it is. Everybody already said he gonna win this fight. He gonna run away with this fight. It's gonna be easy money for him. And one thing I tend to always know about boxing. I'll say this about boxing. One thing I tend to know about boxing is when everybody say somebody gonna win, and it's unanimous across the board for the majority of it, like at least 90%. That's why I'm gonna say unanimous in boxing. I mean, gonna say somebody gonna win or dominate. It tends to go the opposite way. Somebody brought up J Rock and Jerry Hurt. We thought this and it came out, with the cape. Even though old girl said on the Incredibles, no cape. She started naming all the superheroes that died because of the cape. That shit was hilarious. But when people think 1+1 in boxing always equal 2, it's one of the sports where it don't always equal 2. If he go out there and get his ass whooped, I will be not surprised at all. If he go out there and dominate, I will not be surprised at all. If it's in the middle where it could have went either way, I will not be surprised at all. What I will say is you don't see guys with his level of opposition jump up to this level of opposition and blow the doors off. Maybe he will in super middleweight. It ain't a glamorous division. Historically, it's a European division. Why Hagler ain't never jump up? I mean, Hagler had 40-something fights, and he went to Europe and got fucking robbed. So you want to know why Hagler didn't want to go to 68 and go to Europe? Can't blame him. But this is one of those situations in where, at some point he gonna get some resistance. It might be at 75. Remember, Errol Spence was looking unstoppable. Matias was looking unstoppable at 40 at one point. People saying, "Well, Tank Davis is looking unstoppable right now." But once you hit that real true level of that five, and it used to be like the good 5% in boxing. The good 5% of the top 10 or top 15. I'm back in the day, maybe it was a good 10% of guys. It depends. But once you kind of hit that top 3%, that three fighters, in the division, I'm not talking about three, 1, 2, 3 in the WC, IBF, WA, WO, ring belt rankings, whatever you want to say, IBF. I'm talking about the top 3 guys in a division. Once you get to usually the top 3 guys in most divisions, there's resistance. You see guys that go on a killer knockout streak, or you see guys that was running through people and it stops. It stops. It's a lot of questions that got to be answered by Benavidez. Will his dad be able to get him through turbulence? That's a question. When the going get tough, will his dad be able to coach him through turbulence? And we may find out Saturday. We may not find out Saturday. Honestly, we may not see shit Saturday. He might run through him, like everybody expecting. Fight come on at 11:30, 12. You know how they do us on the East Coast. And he may run through Caleb Plant and, by 12:10, we talking about it, popping Tecates or whatever you drink, and that's what we talking about. But we want a close competitive fight. He gonna need a close competitive fight. He gonna need some resistance from Caleb Plant to get him to the next level. He can run through him and people can say, well, Canelo beat him first, he softened him up, or look what he did compared to what Canelo did, he deserved a shot, but he need resistance for him to level up. And if that's versus Demetrius Andrade, which Andrade is a different type of fighter than Caleb Plant. One thing about Andrade, that motherfucker will go out there and set the tone. Andrade will walk right to you and punch you in your mouth to let you know, like, shit, it's going to be a long night. And Canelo Alvarez is a different caliber fighter than Caleb Plant. We already seen that. Who else we got out there? Morale, he bigger kid, physically he probably one of the few dudes at 68 that can match his physicality. Or if you go up to 675, it's a different ball game. You want resistance, man. That's what them type of fights that make you better. And I think at some point in this fight, I hope he gonna have to get through adversity. He gonna have to, learn on the job. And when them young guys get to learning on the job, bro, and they learn as they go, they become more and more dangerous. They become dangerous after a fight like this. He should get better. And what he needs to do is, especially he gonna move up in weight, move up in caliber. He gonna have to bring them hands back home. He gonna have to count on that jab. And he do a lot of shit with Charlo do when he throw punches. They love to depend on their chin. He throw punches and it put him out of position a lot of the time. And you get that with a lot of aggressive punchers like George Foreman. You get that where they throw shots and they trust their chin and there's no consequences or repercussions. They square up. And Jamel Charlo do it a lot. Jamal don't do it so much. Jamel Charlo, he throw a hard shot and he out of position. If you really look at it, he ain't too hard to find. Benavidez the same way. He's so big that most of his opponents, when he get to throwing shots, he throw 3 or 4 shots, whatever. When he throw a good shot, his opponents, they get hit and they want to move. You know what I'm saying? They're not trying to see, catch it, or they're not trying to slip it, or they're not trying to, counter him or nothing like that. See, he ain't stepped up to that level yet. He's just so much bigger and more talented than everybody he fighting. He can get a 30-punch combination off on Porky Medina. When you step up in competition, that shit ain't gonna happen. And that real 2 best fighters in the division, that just don't happen as much. Rarely. So when you talking about some of the deficiencies he got, you may start seeing some of the chinks in the armor on Saturday. And some of the things Shakur Stevenson get away with a lot of shit he do too. He's so much bigger than Oscar Valdez that he was allowing Valdez to hit him with shots that he shouldn't get hit with. Benavidez, the same thing. Benavidez get caught with a couple shots he shouldn't get hit with because he know the opponent is inferior. The power ain't gonna hurt him. But you get in there with somebody that's a little bit sharper, a little bit more skill, a little bit more technical, and now the one shot that land, now they can put 3, 4. Now they found something. Now they got a hole in the armor. So like I said before, the biggest hurdle for him on Saturday is just experience. Lack of experience in the corner. We'll see on this level. It's no disrespect to his daddy. We'll see how his daddy kept coach in this situation. Lack of experience in the fight of this caliber. And plenty fighters have been, in the same position to him and passed with flying colors. A lot of people say he ain't got the toughest opponent there, you know. But like I said before, it's gonna be the jab. It's gonna be remaining, calm and patient. It's gonna work up and down, and check his emotions before he even get into the arena. So yeah, he got to remember work up and down. You got a guy that like to move a lot. Guess what? Go to the body. It's a lost art. It's a lost art. That was a big difference between Anthony Yarde's two losses, or two of his losses, was where's Kovalev, they emptied the tank, but everything he was punching that Kovalev was to the head. Had he went to Kovalev body, he'd have been world champion. His career probably would have been in a different place. His career would have been in a different stratosphere, bro. In versus Benavidez, the difference in that fight, he fought really, really well versus Benavidez. I mean, he was, he be sneaking back to America sparring. A lot of people don't know. He was sneaking back and forth to America getting some sparring in. But the difference in that fight was Benavidez was finishing to the body. He wasn't forgetting to touch the body. With Anthony Yarde, Benavidez would touch Anthony Yarde to the body. Anthony Yarde touch him to the body. Then Benavidez would go a couple shots to upstairs, couple shots to the body. Yarde just getting to the head hunting, and he forgot to he was forgetting to touch the body, and that's what kind of really tired Yarde out. Ain't per se he muscular, that probably played a small part in it, but it was that Arthur Beterbiev never forgot to finish his vegetables on his plate. He always went back to the body, make sure he ate that asparagus, make sure he ate them Brussels sprouts, make sure he ate the spinach or whatever. He always made sure he made sure his plate was clean. You notice, one body shot here, two body shots here, 2 or 3 here. You start adding that motherfucking shit up, over a course of, clean body shots over a course. And we ain't even talking about the ones that's punching through the guard. 3 or 4 body shots, every round. You start adding that shit up through 8 rounds, that's a tremendous amount of body work to be taken clean for anybody. And then you in a sport, you in a sport of attrition. So any advantage you can get, bro. So if he's smart, if he wanna, expedite this victory and get to enjoying his beautiful wife and his family and his son and shit, I think a body attack would be smart. But the downfall why a lot of these guys don't like following up to the body and shit too is because it leaves you susceptible to the head work. But to me, that's a good exchange, especially if you're gonna deflate the tires of somebody that got a great chin. People say, Caleb got a bad chin. That don't mean I don't got to go to that motherfucker's body. Shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna go to his body. And that was the beauty of Mike McCullum. That's the beauty of even Sugar Ray Leonard. You look at, some of his fights, he went to the body, so I just think he got to remember that, a lot of times he get these dudes on the ropes. He run the combination to the body. He finished to the body well. But I think early on, if you got a moving target, the body don't move, and you really don't respect that man punching power. I really would be taking that risk. I'll be taking that risk, bro. But the jab is going to be critical. His emotions is going to be critical. I mean, that's the 3 things I'm worried about this kid in this fight, man. Benavidez is emotions, lack of experience in this versus opponent and on his stage, and him and his jab, and being defensive responsible. Sometimes he don't bring his hands back home. He said he can do it. Like I said, Shakur Stevenson, for a guy people praise for being a great defensive fighter, he get bored in there fighting them smaller guys. He get bored in there. Benavidez fighting the same thing, bigger than everybody else. He get bored in there and start making mistakes. And they know who they can and can't get away with that shit versus. They know who. They know who they can get away with it. They get away with it. Real talk. The chicks that you can, dog out, treat you how you want to treat, they still gonna be there. You know who. So I mean, that's something you really worried about, man. And I think it's I want it to be a competitive fight. It's a bad blood fight. It's one of them fights where you probably gonna see where like Charlo and J Rock, another J Rock reference where J Rock tried to apologize to Jamal Charlo. He was like, nigga, fuck that shit. And I was with Jamal Charlo on that. But it's so funny. They say the person that, retaliate is always the one that kind of get the backlash. A lot of people in the arena didn't know what happened between them two. You accuse somebody of being on PEDs and all that shit. No, he said some real personal shit there. And Charlo just, he said at the press conference and he delivered. Yeah, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. We wouldn't squash shit. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Nah, motherfucker. We used a lot of different ways to sell a fight. I'm talking about my wife, my girl, my kids, my mama, family in general. And don't accuse me of something that could tarnish my career if you don't have no proof. I don't care if I did or didn't want to take the drug test. It's I'm the champion, nigga. You could have just had a vacant belt, but you had to run your mouth. He would have had a vacant belt. Plant want to run his mouth. Plant fast. He got to use that speed, man. He can't run. Benavidez fast too. He got to use that. He got to use that hand speed to counter. But he got to plant it though. He got to use his speed and like he got to use it like he got to use it in an aggressive manner. He got to counter him, bro. Benavidez big as hell. Plant better had this strength train. Well, Plant ain't no fucking ain't small neither. Caleb Plant ain't small neither, bro. He obviously he's 6'1", 74-inch arms. Benavidez only listed at 6'2". It could be wrong. 74 and a half. Now he gonna be thicker on fight night. Yeah, he gonna be thicker on fight night probably. But I was looking at them next to each other, and it's like, they didn't let them do a face off. Well, I was looking at them next to each other, and I was like, it didn't look too much different, bro. It didn't look too much different. Hold on. Benavidez, they roughly around the same height. He a little bit more thicker, probably. They roughly around the same height. They roughly around the same height. In this picture, he looked a little taller than Benavidez. That's just because of the angle. They roughly the same fucking height. So I think people are gonna be surprised. Can you explain the boxer puncher pressure dynamic to the chat and enlighten them today? They ignorant. I mean, what you mean? I mean, when you fighting a pressure guy, I mean, Andre Ward broke it down if I can find it. He said he was always taught to go to the puncher. Now, y'all people don't know he had an OG behind him, behind Virgil Hunter that was helping him. He did an interview on, I think, on Fight Hype one time. Dark skinned old school cat. So a lot of those trainers got OGs behind them. Somebody explained that to me back in the day. And when you fight a dude coming forward, it's kind of like a anything that's got momentum. Let's say a car start rolling, down the hill, bro. Like it's gonna be hard to stop. But if we get enough, if you want to try to push that car, back off the edge of a hill, what's your chances are gonna be in pushing the car back once it come downhill or before it get downhill? That's the same. It's the same thing that apply. Once you let a puncher kind of get on the front foot and start, getting leverage, and start, getting aggressive and coming downhill, and you giving up ground like he did versus Canelo, you let them get all the leverage. The puncher, you let them get all the leverage on their shots. And a lot of times you get guys like Benavidez, they don't waste a lot of energy cutting the ring off neither. Because what you're gonna do is, one, they scoring fights for the aggressor right now, more than the boxer too. So they just take their time, and eventually you're gonna get tired. And 12-round fight, he gonna break you down. So a lot of times you want to go out there and you want to stop that car from rolling downhill, but you want to stop him in his tracks. You want to push him back. That's what you want to do. You want to set the tone, push them back, let them know, you got something to respect. And once you get something to respect, then you can kind of just, get into your game plan. But yeah, when you get the people think when you get to running and boxing, you got to stick and move and outbox them, bro. Moving around the ropes is not going to help your case versus guys like that. And if you are going to move, it's lateral movement in and out, stepping over, using angles, running combinations. Is what he did to Benavidez, Darrell. Catching, shooting, tight guard, and that's why Darrell couldn't really like do shit. He didn't know if Plant was coming or going, fainting, all that type of shit you got to do. That's how you got to fight somebody like Benavidez. Keep them off balance, make them miss, make them pay, be first. You fight good pressure fighters, bro. The number one thing is you got to keep them. You got to keep them off balance for one. But if you gonna give them a steady diet or something, you give them a steady diet of pressure. You pressure them. You know what I'm saying? You pressure them. But if it's counter punching, if it's feints with counter punching, if it's a jab gonna always give you somebody to worry about. They say when you up, jab. When you down, jab. When you get up off the canvas, jab. They say when you in doubt, jab. When you know what to do, jab. You know what not to do, jab. When you in doubt, jab. Keep jabbing. Keep that stick going. I like the 3-level stick. The stick that's to the stomach, the stick to the solar plex. People don't throw that no more. And that jab up to the head. Jab. But I think he got to give him a steady diet of just keeping him off balance. And that's angles, combination punches, body work, holding his ground, being first. And that's the thing about fighting counterpunch. Pressure shot. You got to be first sometimes. Being first, using your jab, being first is going to open up counterpunching opportunities. He got to be first. He got to be first. He got to be first 80% of this fight in the first 6 rounds to have a chance to win. 913 boxers. That's how Lucas and Danny was. Yeah, I was the only one. I cleaned up off Danny that night. I was the only person to pick Danny. But that picture did, kind of like where after he knocked out, who the fuck did he knock out? Was it Lamont Peterson? And Danny was looking scared and shit. It was just a bad picture. Said it's one of the sports where most of the time it equals 2 dummies. Yeah, hey, you ain't lying. That's why it's hard for people to buy pay-per-views. When you sit there and you build a fight up for a damn near a decade, Manny Pacquiao Mayweather, and he don't live up to the billing, it turned a lot of people off. You don't know what you're gonna get in a boxing fight. I remember my homie mom, she ordered Chad Dawson and Bernard Hopkins. We streamed that shit. I told her not to order it. She should, and then nigga told me my shoulder. I don't think they refunded people neither. Don Dollar salute. Travis, what's going on? Hit the like button. Johnson salute. He said, "Who your money on here?" Oh, Benavidez. I picked Benavidez in 10. But I wouldn't be surprised if Plant win. Like I said, I ain't telling y'all to go to Vegas and put it all on Benavidez. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't be that dumb, would we? But I think most people think this is about a sure thing that you can get in boxing. And you talk to some people in boxing. I heard he seen Rockman talk about Plant. Sean Porter picked Plant. A lot of people picking Plant versus Shields picked Plant. Jamel Charlo picked Plant. There's a lot of people that pick Plant, bro. The odds ain't too far apart. Hold on. Yeah, the odds ain't too far apart. You had to bet $300 on Plant to win 100. On Benavidez to win 100. He the favorite. 100 get you 220 on Caleb Plant. So, Benavidez on points is a plus 430. I don't know what the or is. Caleb Plant or points or I don't know what the or is. It says plus 390. Benavidez by knockout is by far, or TKO is by far the favorite bet. But you gotta, it'll cost you 130 to win 100. If Caleb Plant went on by knockout, 100 can win you 700. If it's a draw, the customary plus 1600. 100 get you 1600. To be knocked down, Plant is the favorite to get knocked down. 108 it get you $100. If Benavidez get knocked down, $100 will bring you $570 right now. And these are changes the money come in too. They got more wagers too. Let's see what the other wagers about. Um, you got group betting. Benavidez to win round 1 through 3, 100 to bring you 1100. Round 4 to 6, he to win plus 600, 360, 10 to 12, 420. Caleb Plant. Hey, look, if Caleb Plant win round 1 and 3, $100 get you 4,300. If he win 4 to 6 plus 2,700. So they said Caleb Plant do win, win by some type of stoppage or 7, 8 or 9. His best odds would be 7, 8 or 9. 100 to get you 1,800, 10 to 12 plus 2,200. The fight to go the distance. Hunt plus 178 is yes. The favorite by far is no, 230. So it costs you $230 to win 100 if the fight don't go the distance. If it does go the distance, this is the underdog 100 when you 178. So to win in 60 seconds. So if this fight, if it was the end of 60 seconds, you could do either win. 100 can get you 9,000. Benavidez winning the first minute, 100 get you 10,000. Plant winning the first set, 100 get you 10,000. So, there's always some interesting prop bets out there, bro. Benavidez gonna walk him. I want everybody out here saying Benavidez gonna win easy. I want to see y'all after the fight. He said sleeping on my man Caleb Michael Curry. Yeah, everybody sleeping on him. Everybody sleeping on him, bro. Everybody sleeping on Sweet Plant. Sweet. If Plant go out there and win, bro, I don't think Benavidez, especially if he not Benavidez, I don't think Benavidez is gonna recover, bro. I don't think Benavidez is gonna recover. And if Plant lose, then where you go from here in 2? That's a great question. If Plant lose, where you go from here? So, if Plant lose, where do you go from here, bro? So, that's the $1 million question. And you got any other questions? I'll answer real quick. But yeah, I'm happy that there's a fight that you're interested in. He said Benavidez, Mad Dog A said Benavidez been fighting smaller guys lately. Yeah, he ain't fought nobody for real. Hold on, real. Ring Magazine been tripping, bro. I like to use their schedule, but last couple weeks it's been tripping. I'm tired as hell right now, too. So I don't know if it's gonna work. Yeah, it's still tripping. I'm trying to pull a schedule up. So Saturday, you got Ramirez and Richard Comey fighting Saturday too. Yeah, still tripping. Let me see if I get a better one. But Sinisa Estrada, she fighting too. She's on the undercard of that fight. So Benavidez Plant. You got Lawrence Okoli fighting Saturday versus David Light. Ramirez and Comey. Next week, you got the return of Anthony Joshua. Roberzio Ramirez is fighting Isaac Dogbe. So Joshua and Roberzio Ramirez fight next week. Pulling for Jermaine Franklin. The following week, April 8th, for Shakur and Yoshi, whoever his name is, no disrespect. Also, April 8th, Bam Rodriguez is taking on Christian Gonzalez. Sebastian Fondor, Brian Mendoza. April 15th, you got Joe Joyce versus Zhang. That should be a good one. The 22nd, you got on the zone, you got somebody, Joe Concordian fighting somebody. Tank and Ryan Garcia. So it's all right. In April 29th, you got Virgil and Amanda Sionis. So it's cool. I'm betting a draw. Al Heyman won a double dip. It ain't really selling, though. So it ain't selling, though. He's a Ramirez versus Comey fight Saturday. Yes, yep, Saturday. Yep. We not sleeping on Plant. Plant about to be sleeping. Ramon Turner. Oh, Cobra going to get smoked this Saturday. You think so? By what's the kid's name? Rayo. Yeah, man, he talking about it's not over if I lose. I'm like, man, nigga, I think it's over with. Rayo just got knocked out too. New York, yeah, he said he hurt his hand. They got a new date though. Foden said he got walked down by Canelo. What you think David gonna do? He gonna do what the Canelo did times 2 times. We gonna see. We'll see. He did. He got Canelo. I mean, he was running for Canelo from the opening bell, but he did. I think he learned something from Stephen Bredman. I think he learned something, but man, that's all I got, man. I appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. Let's be on the podcast tomorrow. The link tree to find all the platforms. Peace. Got our official sponsor, Greenwood Stock Trading. If you want to learn how to make some passive income, some extra money, so you can invest in your future and your kids' future, give them a call for a free 10-minute consultation, 281-760-3170. Go get to the bag.